The second we launched this game, something felt wrong. Not just creepy music or bad VHS filters, no, this was heavier. Like the game itself didn't want us here. You know that feeling when you walk into a room, and for no reason at all, your stomach just drops.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it felt. I look over at my friend, and even he's like, "Bro, this menu screen feels cursed." And it did. The start screen wasn't flashy, just a dark house on a stormy night, lit by flashes of lightning, the kind of screen where the longer you stare at it, the more you swear something is moving in the shadows. We sat there for a minute, joking nervously, but the atmosphere. It was already working on us. The storm outside the house wasn't just visuals, you could hear it. Rain hitting the windows, a faint whistle of wind through cracks in the frame, and then this low, distorted hum, almost too quiet to notice, like the game was breathing. "All right, let's just hit start," I said, but my voice cracked in the recording, and the second I pressed it, the screen flickered like it resisted. Boom, we're dropped in. First person view, a hallway, dim light, a clock ticking. Every creak of the wooden floorboards sounded too real, like it was mapped straight from an actual house. And there's this one detail. The game doesn't give you a tutorial. No HUD, no hints. Just one sentence in blood. Red text across the bottom of the screen. "Stay inside. Never open the door." That's it. No instructions, no context, just that warning. We laughed it off at first. What is this, a PSA? Stranger Danger Simulator. But inside, I felt it, that same heaviness, the kind of dread that sits on your chest. For the next few minutes, we explored the house. It wasn't big, just a living room, a kitchen, a hallway, a bedroom upstairs, but it felt alive. Lights would buzz and flicker. The old pipes groaned in the walls. Sometimes the game would play these faint footsteps upstairs even when you weren't there. At one point, my buddy swore he saw someone standing in the window reflection. We rewound the footage later, and yeah, there was definitely something. And then it happened. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow, deliberate knocks on the door. I froze, not my character, me. The sound didn't just play through the game. It echoed in my headset like it was right behind me. And for a second, I couldn't tell if it came from the screen or from my actual front door. We went quiet, no jokes, just silence. Another knock, louder this time. The door rattled, and that's when the game gave us the first choice: look through the peephole or ignore it. We chose to look, and what was waiting on the other side made my blood run cold. I leaned toward the screen, hands sweating on the mouse. Okay, just a peephole. No big deal. The screen slowly faded to black, then back in, the perspective zooming toward the front door. My stomach twisted, and there it was. At first, I thought it was just a shadow, maybe a trick of the lightning outside, but no, there was a figure standing on the porch, still, silent, waiting. My buddy whispered into the mic like the guy could hear us, "Bro, he's looking straight at us." And he was. The figure wasn't moving, just standing there. His outline lit up every time the storm flashed. And then the detail hit me, the shape of the jaw, the way the shoulders slouched. It looked like me. I laughed nervously, trying to play it off. Oh, great budget doppelgänger DLC. But inside, my heart was pounding. The game didn't give us time to think. On-screen text appeared. "Do not open the door." And then the options flickered. 2 choices. Ignore, open. We argued in the room for what felt like forever. Don't open it. Don't you dare open it. Come on, man. It's just a game. What's the worst that happens? Another knock, this time sharper, louder. Knock, knock, knock. The controller vibrated. My headphones shook. And I swear the sound didn't just come from the game anymore. It echoed through my actual walls, like the game had bled into reality. We chose ignore. The figure didn't leave. It didn't flinch. It just tilted its head, the exact way I do when I'm confused. My stomach sank. Lightning flashed again, and for a split second its face came into focus. And yeah, it was me. Same eyes, same mouth, except its smile was too wide, too sharp. Like someone had taken my face and stretched it into something wrong. I wanted to back away from the screen, but the game pulled us in closer. The character's breathing grew louder, heavy, shaky, and then the lights inside the house Flickered once, twice, before shutting off completely. Pitch black. I could still hear the rain, the faint creak of the floorboards, and the knock. Bang, bang, bang. Not polite this time, not slow. Furious, the entire house rattled. My headset crackled like it was about to blow out, and then silence. We held our breath. Nothing moved. The screen stayed black. For a second, I thought maybe the game had crashed, until a whisper slipped through the headphones. Let me in. I jumped out of my chair. My friend nearly yanked his headset off, and the worst part, the voice didn't sound like a monster or a demon. It sounded like me. We looked at each other, both pale, both shaking, and then the screen lit back up, showing the peephole view one more time. My double was gone, just empty. Porch rain pouring down. Relief washed over me until text appeared again. He's inside. And when we turned the camera around, what we saw standing in the hallway made us question if this was even a game anymore. The moment those words flashed across the screen, he's inside, my heart stopped. I spun the camera around fast, almost too fast, and there, standing in the corner of the hallway, just barely lit by the faint glow of a dying lamp, was me. Not the character I was playing, not an NPC, me, same clothes, same hair, same way I slouch my shoulders when I'm tired. It was like staring into a mirror, but a broken one, because his face wasn't right. His eyes were too wide, bloodshot, unblinking. His jaw hung slightly loose, twitching like it didn't quite fit on his skull, and his smile, God, his smile was the worst part. Stretched thin, too sharp, like it was carved onto his face instead of grown there. We froze. No one spoke. Even the chat, which had been spamming memes and jokes, went completely silent. I whispered, Is that me?" My friend leaned closer to the screen. "Bro, he's moving." And he was, slowly, one step, then another. His movements were jerky, unnatural, like a video file skipping frames. But the sound of his footsteps, perfectly real. Each one creaked through the wooden floor like he was actually in the room with us. The game gave us no choices this time, no text, no options, just me holding the controls, and this thing, this double, getting closer. "Don't open the door, don't open the door," I kept muttering, even though the door was already long forgotten. And then he spoke. "You let me in." The voice wasn't distorted. It wasn't a monster's growl. It was my voice. Every word sounded like it came straight from my own throat, except layered, like two voices speaking in perfect unison, me and something else. My friend smacked my arm. "Dude, do something. Don't just stand there." I tried backing away, moving the character toward the kitchen. But as soon as I did, the double moved too, mirroring me, step for step, turn for turn, like he wasn't chasing me, he was replacing me. We tested it. I turned left, he turned left, I crouched, he crouched. At first, it felt like some creepy AI script. But then he started moving before I did, almost like he knew what I was about to press. That's when the laughter started. Not my friend, not me, the double. A soft chuckle, low at first, then louder. The kind of laugh where you don't know if it's supposed to be funny or terrifying. And the worst part, it was my laugh. I froze, hands off the keyboard. My friend whispered, "Dude, he's not copying you anymore. He's ahead of you." And he was right. The double broke the pattern. He stopped mirroring and walked toward the table, sat down, picked up a glass of water that wasn't there before. Like he belonged in the house, like he had always been the one living here. Meanwhile, the original me, my in-game character, slowly flickered, glitched, and then faded. My reflection took his place. Chat went insane. Everyone typing the same thing. "It's you. He's taking over. That's not NPC code. Bro, turn it off now." And I started thinking the same thing. What if this wasn't scripted? What if this wasn't programmed? What if the game was rewriting me? The double turned toward the camera, toward me. His smile stretched wider, his head twitching unnaturally. And then, in my voice, he whispered, "One of us has to go." And that's when the knock came again, but this time, it wasn't at the door. When that second knock echoed through the house, I froze. It wasn't at the front door this time, no. It came from inside, somewhere upstairs. The camera panned on its own, slowly tilting toward the staircase. Every step creaked in the silence, like something was pacing above us. And here's the thing, my double didn't react. He just sat there at the table, sipping water that shouldn't exist, smirking like he was in on the joke. I whispered into the mic. He heard that, right? He knows there's something upstairs. My friend shook his head. No, dude, he is upstairs. And I swear, when he said that, the figure at the table stopped moving. Just froze, as if it heard us talking about it. Then came the sound again, footsteps, heavy, slow. Moving down the hallway above, the ceiling groaned with each step. Dust drifted down from the beams. We had no choice. The game nudged us forward. My character crept toward the stairs. Each footstep echoed like it was mine, not the avatar's. Halfway up, the lights flickered again, that awful VHS glitch effect, warping the screen. For a second, I thought it was a jump scare. But no, it was worse, because the hallway upstairs was lined with pictures, not creepy portraits, not generic stock photos. Pictures of me, selfies from years ago, school photos, a birthday picture I swear I hadn't posted online. They weren't distorted or bloody, just normal, which somehow made it 10 times worse. I scrolled past one and froze. My friend pointed it out before I could even say it. Bro, that's literally from last week. That's you in that hoodie you wore yesterday. My chest tightened. How did this game have that? Then another knock, this time right behind one of the doors at the end of the hall. Knock, knock, knock. The game displayed text again. Do not let him out. My palms were slick on the mouse. Every instinct screamed, don't touch that door. But the character moved on its own, drifting forward like something was pulling me in. My friend panicked, don't open it, dude. Don't do it. End the game. Just end it now. But my hands wouldn't listen. The doorknob turned. Inside the room, nothing. Just pitch black. A void. I leaned closer to the screen, squinting into the dark. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something. The reflection on the screen. It wasn't me sitting at my desk anymore. It wasn't me playing. It was him, the double, sitting in my chair, holding my controller, staring back. I tore my headset off, heart racing. My friend was pale, shaking his head. Nah, I'm done. This isn't funny anymore. But the game wasn't over. Because when I put the headset back on, my double wasn't upstairs anymore. He wasn't in the hallway. He wasn't in the void. He was standing right behind my in-game character, breathing, close enough to fog the screen. And then came the whisper, low, guttural, my voice doubled with something darker. You're already gone. And then the house lights died completely, leaving us in absolute darkness with him. Darkness, that's all there was for a moment, pitch black, suffocating, like the game had swallowed every last pixel of light. And then, out of nowhere, a thud, one single, heavy slam against the wall, then another, until the whole house groaned under the weight of it. I whispered into the mic, Is he trying to break out? But my friend shook his head. Why? Died. No, dude, he's trying to break in. Before I could respond, a timer appeared in the center of the screen. 60:00, a full minute. Red numbers ticking down, and under it, one message in blocky, static warped text. Choose before the time runs out. 2 options appeared. Open the door, wait, that's it. No other choices, no way to pause. The game had trapped us. The knocking started again, but not just at the front door anymore. No, now it came from everywhere. The windows rattled. The ceiling boomed like footsteps were running across it. Even the basement door shook violently, dust pouring out of the hinges. Knock, 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 bang, bang. Bang all around us all at once. The timer dropped 45:00. The sound design was unreal. I could hear nails scratching down the hallway walls. Breathing in the vents, the sound of my own laugh, except not mine, echoing from the kitchen. My friend yelled, "Don't open it, dude, just wait it out." But then came the worst part. The game started whispering, dozens of voices layered over each other, distorted, but all of them mine. "Let me in, you already opened it. Why are you hiding from yourself?" The screen flickered violently, glitching in and out. For one frame, it wasn't the house on the screen anymore. It was my room, my actual setup, my desk, my chair. For just a split second, I saw myself staring back from inside the monitor. The timer, 30:00. Sweat dripped down my face. My hand hovered over the mouse. I wanted to choose wait, but the knocking got louder, like whatever was outside was furious. Bang, bang, bang. The walls in-game started cracking. The glass of the windows shattered inward. Something was clawing its way through the wood. We're done, end it, quit the game," my friend shouted, but the escape button disabled. The mouse locked. I couldn't do anything but watch the timer bleed away, 15:00. The entire house shook violently now. The double was back too, standing at the end of the hall, smiling, twitching, pointing at the door. His mouth opened wide, unnaturally wide, as if his jaw was unhinging, and in my exact voice he screamed, "Let me in." The timer burned down. 10, 9, 8, every slam, every scream, every laugh layered on top of each other until it was deafening. I felt it in my chest like the bass of a concert speaker. 3, 2, 1, the screen went completely red. The house exploded in sound, wood splintering, glass shattering, voices shrieking in unison. And then silence. The door creaked open on its own, and what stepped inside wasn't me, it was all of me. The door creaked open, and the house went silent. For a second, there was nothing, just the sound of rain outside and the faint drip of water from a broken pipe. My chest loosened. Maybe the game was done. Maybe we'd survived, but then the screen flickered. One figure stepped through the door. Then another, and that's when my blood turned to ice. They were all me. Dozens of versions of me pouring into the hallway. Some were perfect copies. Others were twisted, mouths too wide, eyes sunken black, movements jerky like broken marionettes. They clawed at the walls, dragged their nails along the floor, muttering in voices layered and distorted. "We are you. You let us in. There is no door anymore." The camera spun wildly, like the game itself was panicking. The walls of the house started to crack and bend inward, the ceiling groaning under the weight of their presence. And then the worst part. Every face on screen turned and looked directly at me, not the in-game character. Me, through the monitor. I ripped my headset off. My friend shouted, dude, it's still moving without you." And sure enough, even with my hands off the controls, the game kept going. My character, or whatever was left of him, was being dragged into the crowd of doubles, pulled apart, absorbed, until there was nothing left but them. The screen cut to static. For a solid 10 seconds, we just sat there in silence, and then, slowly, the static cleared. What came up next chilled me more than anything. It wasn't the house. It wasn't the doubles. It was my desktop. My actual desktop. Icons, wallpaper, everything. The cursor moved on its own, and then, across the middle of the screen, words began to type. "You should never open the door." Silence. Black screen end. We didn't move, didn't speak. My friend broke it first with nervous laughter. Nope, uninstall, delete, burn the PC, I'm out." I tried to laugh, but honestly, my hands were still shaking, because even after the game closed, even after I turned everything off, I thought I heard it. Knock, 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 right outside my room. I didn't check. I didn't dare check. So yes, safe to say, we're never playing that game at night again. And if you ever see yourself standing outside your door, do yourself a favor. Don't open it. All right, if you survived that nightmare with us, smash the like button, but just Make sure your door's locked first. Subscribe if you want more cursed games, and let me know in the comments. Would you open the door or would you run? Because me, I'm running, and trust me, the next game we found makes this one look like child's play.